Ahoy there, YouTube! I'm back again for another Splinterlands video, and today I'm very excited to continue my series ranking every single element, and we're going to be taking a look at all the dragon cards in the game and ranking them at level 1. So when you're newer to the game, we're going to talk about all of them. Let's put them in here. Let's get started right here. And as always, we have the S tier, the A tier, the B tier, the C tier, the D tier. I don't believe there is an F tier, because every card has a situation somewhere where you can squeeze it and make it work. So, the one thing I want to start off by saying is I love the Dragon deck. It is incredibly versatile, and there are quite a few cards in here that will win you a game by themselves. And I'll try and spotlight some of those, because those are ones you're probably going to want to consider renting and trying out for yourself, and maybe seeing if you want to buy them in the future. By the way, none of this is investing advice, because I'm just some random dude in a basement. So this is the Dragon Whelp. 1 magic, 2 heart, 1 speed. It flies, so it's a bit harder to hit. Also makes it very versatile if you have the Earthquake condition, because every single time, once you get past Bronze 2, there's all sorts of crazy conditions you have to deal with, like poison and earthquakes. And if you haven't tried Splinterlands, check out the link down below. It's a fantastic game. I'm in love with it. So this card, it's not great. 1 magic. I mean, it gives you the option to put magic in decks that might not have enough magic. I could see this being a solid card to potentially include if you went, say, Dragon Earth, and then you did, well, no, I don't know. It's a C tier. I think this is, you know what? I'm going to go D tier. I think this is one of the most underwhelming Dragon cards there is. And I think that's kind of why it's pretty cheap to rent. Alright, the Dejin Dragon Spell. 5 cost, but I'm still putting him up here in the A tier. So this is a summoner, and it'll make it so that whenever you have any magic damage that goes out, you will do +1. This is insanely valuable, especially if you go with, like, say, the green deck, something that's going to be, or the death deck that has a lot of magic. This can wreck people. It does have the 5 cost, which means it's not going to be viable at lower cost, especially if you're at the 20s and 30s. I don't know if it's worth it there, but if you have 40, 50, 60, 99... this is one to take a think about. All right, Mega Brute. So this is a card that's all about just sitting there and sucking up magic damage. If you scout him out and you think they're going to be dealing magic, he can sit there. And the best part about him is if you team him up, say, with Light, and I've done this quite a few times, if you can team him up with Light, then you're going to be able to essentially repair his armor, and it's going to be really hard to kill him, especially if you have 2 armor repairments. So I don't think he's a great card at the 6 cost. If he was 5, I think it'd be a little bit higher, but I think he's good. I'm going to put him in the B tier. Naga Brute, solid card. Dejin Chihuahuala. This is an S tier card. This is a card that if you were newer to Splinterlands, I 100% recommend that you buy or rent this card. If you played the game and you're stuck in bronze or you're in the bottom of silver, one card you will see all the time is that stupid prickly guy that costs 6 in the death deck. This costs 8. It's a bit more expensive, but it completely just crushes. You know, she is a monster, and she has won me tons of games. Great card. Great card right there. 5 shield, 9 health, can take the magic damage. Love her. Glorgax Soldier. Alright, so he can take a hit, as long as it's not magic, because he's got the armor right there. Also, he flies. He's harder to hit. 2 speed, not the greatest speed. You know, it's a C tier card. It's a situational card. I'm not the biggest fan of this card. You know, I think maybe you use this card if you have the condition where it says, you know, everyone gets to attack or everyone has the sneak ability or something like that. But overall, just kind of an underwhelming card. I'm almost kind of leaning D tier here. I kind of feel Dragon Whelpy with this. Just because that 5 cost, well, it is hard to hit. You know, I'm going to put it there. If they're not using magic, he can really wreck you. The Serpentine Mystic. And now we're getting into the so I want to make sure I don't mess up any of the special abilities. So, read these out verbatim. Serpentine Mystic. When a monster with Affliction hits a target, it's a chance of applying Affliction on the target, causing it to be unable to heal. So what that means is, this is a great card in very specific situations. I'm going to put it up here in the B tier once again. I'm actually going to put it a little bit higher than the Naga Brute, just because there's some games where you go in and it's like 50, 60, 99, and you know there's probably going to be some healing going on, and he can shut that down. And that is a huge, valuable ability. And that's why you saw this is one of the dragons that I was like, I need to rent this card because it can win you a match. All right, so we got the Dragonling Bowman doing some range damage. 1, not very powerful. 3 health, but the big thing here is it's going for the backline. It has the sneak ability, which means it's always going to be targeting the backline, which You know, and I've done this. This is a fun strategy. If you can get a whole bunch of cards that just target the back line, sometimes you can just wreck people. Just absolutely destroy them. Now, the fact it's not doing magic damage and it's doing range damage, it stinks a bit. But it's a solid card. I'm going to put it in the C tier. 3 health scares me. I don't think it's great, but it has a spot. Zyvax Vool. I love this special ability right here. It has the one where it only attacks every other turn, but when it attacks, it does 3 times the damage. So this thing is doing 6 face damage right now, range damage. But here's the risky part about this. You can miss. You know, so if you're going up against speed, he can have some issues. So I don't put him in the A tier, but I think we're in the B tier here. Solid, versatile at 8 cost. He's a good backline tank, especially if you got shield on him as well. Or if you have the legendary 3 cost, the one that heals anyone in your backline, not your front line, those two combo together. That's a good $11 you're spending right there. So I'm putting it in the B tier, and honestly, I think I'll put it a little bit above the Mega Brute. All right, Dragon Spirit. It flies. It's 5. It's hard to hit. I think this is an A tier card. Like, this is a great card if you have a very powerful backline. This thing is going to be hard to hit, especially if they have, especially if they're going magic damage. You know what? I'm going to go with B tier, actually. I don't think it's quite A tier. Well, yeah, it is. That 3 cost, because here's the bottom line. 3 cost for this. That's a pretty dang good cost. Especially if you have something that's going to heal this thing. It can protect your backline. It could be a stopper between all your ranged damage that's hard to hit. It can get, so I think it's bottom of A tier. That one might get bumped to B tier. Fire Spitter. 4 cost. It's flying. They're dragons. Kind of makes sense. Doing 2 damage like that. 4 heart, 4 speed. So it's probably going to get off a couple shots, especially if you put it in the right position. So I think it's a B tier card. I think the 4 cost is nice, especially if you paired this with ranged damage. So he's essentially doing 3 damage. Flying, fast, like it. Void Dragon. High risk, high reward card here. So, what I mean by that is, if they're going magic damage, you're good. Like, that's good. Actually, you know what? Maybe I just suck with this card. The more I look at it, this 5 speed, along with not being able to be hit, along with magic resistance, pretty much means that they have to be fast, or they're going to have to be dealing at least 2 magic to do damage to you for the cost of 5. You know what? I'm talking myself into the A tier here. Like, look at this. Do I want to pay $2 extra to be able to do some magic attack and have magic resistance? Yeah, I think we're bumping you to the B tier. I think you, Void Dragon, get bumped to the A tier. Glad I talked myself into that one. Let's go grab a legendary. Let's go get fun. Prince Julien, you're stupid. You're S tier. Shut up. You're like $30,000 or something ridiculous. There's not even a level 1 of it. I couldn't even get it. I tried to get level 1s for everything. Why is this so good? It lets you use your purple cards with 2 cost, which is huge. Because most of the time, the summoners for this are going to be 4 or 5. Just because we're going to get into some of the powerful cards. Let's get into my favorite card. My current favorite card right now. Actually, I can't find it. Oh, nope. We'll just grab this one. Don't have this card, but man, I want it. So, 10 cost, 10 armor, huge, 6 health, slows everybody down, flies, hard to hit, decent speed, 2 magic damage. You put this thing on your backline, it's going to be really hard to get to your squishy intermiddles. Like, if they have backline attack, like, you're going to be sitting there soaking that up. This is an A tier card. It's the kind of card that can win you the game. All right. Desert Dragon. Love this card. Love this card for 1 big reason. 2 big reasons. First, 4 damage. And it's got the ability where if you kill the thing, you do another attack onto the person that comes back into the front line. This is a fantastic card if you can keep them up. If you can heal them. If you have some way to keep them up. Because they do have, they're glass right here. 3 shield, 6 health. You got to be super careful with them. But if you can protect them, if you can keep them upright, and maybe the first damage doesn't happen, they can do so much. And just, not S tier, but I'm going to go with bottom of the A tier. Another great card. And this one is especially good if you get the conditions where it's like, everyone has sneak ability. Everyone has the little knife ability where you go for the person with the lowest health. Because then you don't even have to put them in the front line. You can put them in the middle, and they just, they can wreak havoc. So, A tier card. But not in every situation. So we got this guy. his big thing. He's like Prince Julien. So he's still S tier, but he's just realistic S tier. Instead of costing 2, he costs 3. And it just makes it so you're going to be able to use a lot of these cards that will just win you games. And this right here, one of my favorite cards right now. This right here, one of my favorite cards right here. This right here, I'm going to experiment war with this card now. All right, the Manticore. Sitting in the second slot. It's got the long arms, so it doesn't have to sit in the front line to attack the front line character on the other side. It can sit in the second spot. Also, it has 6 health, so it has some okay health, and it flies, so it's going to be a little bit harder to hit. So if your tank goes down, he can buy you a little bit of time, especially if you have some sort of healing or shielding on him. I don't think he's a great card, but a 4-card cost, I think he's a B tier. I think he's a very good card. You know, he can make the difference. I don't think he's going to win you the game, but he can make the difference. So we'll go bottom B tier there. Maybe top C tier. Yeah, I'm going to go top C tier on him. All right. Scale Doctor. Ooh-wee, this is a fun one. 7 health. Good chunk of health. 1 damage. You're like, okay, not impressed yet. But it gives everyone on the team 1 additional health, including themselves, which means they're now at 8 health. And everyone else on your team is 1 additional health. And this is super useful, especially if you're running some glass cannons. So, like, you combo these 2 up right here. That's a good 12 cost right there. That's a good 12 cost, especially if you can heal or you can be doing something like that. So, I don't think this is quite an A-tier card. Yeah, I do. I think it's an A-tier card. Which, you know, they're legendaries. They should be. All right, what do we got? Drake of Arnak. This is probably what most people are going to get acquainted with when they first get into the game for the Dragon deck. And you might be a little bit underwhelmed. I'll be honest with you. When I first got into the game, I was underwhelmed by the Dragon deck. But the more you know about the Dragon cards, the more you're like, okay, I get it now. So having +1 shield, that can really help him out. That can really help her out. Because now she's got even more times that because every time she gets whacked, that's 2 prickly damage. So I don't think it's, well, I think you know what, I'm going to put it above Delwyn, and here's the big reason why. He's much more versatile. 4 cost is just a lot harder, easier to swallow than 5 cost is, especially when you're talking 13, 14, 15, 16. Like that extra 1, the more you play this game, the more you realize how much that extra 1 matters. All right, we got Shin Lo. Oh my gosh, S tier, immediate S tier. Like, why? 1 magic damage, 2 hearts, sneak wide, 1 cost. You show me a better 1 card cost in this game. Like, this is just straight money right here. That is a fantastic, and especially if you team him up with him. So right there, that right there, you're dealing 2 damage. Or if you put a shield on him. You know, there's just great card. Great card. All right, this, however, is my current favorite card in the game. So I'll put it right here. S tier, Chaos Dragon. Why do I love this card? Well, because it does 3 magic damage, and it does it random. And whenever I can, I love comboing these 2 right here, because that's essentially shooting 4 magic just randomly at someone potentially in their middle or in their back. And let me tell you, I have single-handedly won so many games just because he just goes off and he kills some very, very well-protected, crucial member of their team. And you're like, oh, game over. And it doesn't always work. But the other reason why I'm putting him in the S tier is just because he's a fun card. When you have him on the table, you've got a shot. You know, because he might just take out some super squishy, super powerful card that was totally protected. And I just love that. All right, Black Dragon. 2 magic, 6 cost. You're like, all right, 6 cost for 3 health. That's dicey. That is dicey. But they fly. They're a little bit harder to hit. Big thing is, they have the Life Sucker ability, which means when they attack people, and they're attacking magic, so they're not going to get stuck in the armor, they're sucking up life. They're getting more healthy. And this, if you can keep it protected, can be a great backline tank, especially, you know, if you happen to have some extra squishy people in the backline, like you got a chicken in the backline, or the 0-cost legendary in the backline, for whatever color you are. So I'm putting this as an A tier. Especially, you pair it with him, like this right here. This right here. That's 25 well spent. Like, you're doing just so much damage there. All right. What do we got? Brighton Bloom. Once again, S tier. S tier. This is a must-rent card, in my personal opinion, because what you're going to get, a lot of times, once you get into a certain rank in competitive, is Earthquake matches. And I have won so many Earthquake matches just by being able to fly and stay alive. Because so many people, they don't put in flying characters. And if you can just outlast them, you win a good chunk of the time. This is especially good if you have people who have the net ability as well. Because other people might also use Brighton Bloom, but then you can catch them. All right. We already got you. You're already in here. What the heck? Yeah, you're still A tier. You still rock. Okay. Glorgax Guardian. 6 cost. 2 damage from the second slot. I do like that. I think that's immediate A, B tier. 2 armor, 6 health, a little bit of a mini tank there, so if things go south, they can buy you a couple turns, especially if you're healing the armor, healing the tanks. Like this, I think this is top of B tier. Put it behind the Serpentine Mystic, who I think is honestly kind of leaning towards A tier for me now. Yeah, just with how much healing is prevalent in the game right now, I think she's just bottom A tier. I think it's a great card. Glorgnax Magus, and we got ourselves some sparkle damage, but it's not just sparkler damage. Because sparkle damage is my favorite icon in the entire game. It essentially means that you hit that person, and then you hit the people next to them for a little less damage as well. But what's super good about Glorgnax is that he's doing magic damage, which means it's not hitting their shield, it's hitting them, and magic don't miss. Like, that's how you can take down some of these characters before they even get started. Like the Serpentine Mystic. You can take it down pretty fast, especially if you got that. So, loving this card. 6 cost, 6 health. I don't think it's quite S tier, but B tier, A tier, definitely A tier. And once you factor in, say, Delwyn, good stuff. Good stuff. And then when you have when you get those ones where it's like sneak and snipe ability, not top of A tier, not top of A tier, but I'm gonna put it right around there. I think Serpentine Mystic's, but I don't know. Daria Dragon Scale. Going to give you +1 attack. She's really fun to pair with the red. Super fun to pair with the red, especially if you got like this Desert Dragon. Like this Desert Dragon is now doing 5 damage. Like that's just stupid. Or if you go with the blue deck. Because if you go with the blue deck and you go with her and you go with Sharky, you're now doing +2. Like it's just there's some really fun combos with Daria. And she's A tier. She is just fantastic. 4 cost, put her right up here. Very versatile, and plus it allows you to play some more fun decks, some punch people in the face decks. Slow them down, reduce their damage. This one's super valuable. You'll get into some matches where light just seems like light is just an obvious choice. You get this, slow them down, focus on the backline, kill them. I think this is an S tier card. Top notch. There's a reason it's a legendary. Put it up there. All right. Robo Dragon Knight, 11 cost. Wow me. 3 damage, love it. 8 shield, love it. 9 health, love it. Speed 3, not bad. Magic resistance, plus the first shot is not even going to hurt them. That, my friends, is a big beefy tank that I love, especially if you're healing them or armoring them back up. That is S tier. S tier, and honestly, I love my Dejin Chihuahuala. You know what? No, I'm going to keep just the 8 cost. Once you start getting to 11 cost, it's hard to build around sometimes. All right, Selena Skye, 3 costs. That immediately means we're going into the S tier, at least in my mind, just because that's great. That's great value right there. And +1 range damage. You pair her with light damage, or that great card. S tier. S tier. There's a reason. And yeah, and then once again, she's even above Kretch, because Kretch, look at that. You getting +1 for the cost of 3. For him, you get nothing, which, I mean, I think that means he gets knocked down to the bottom. He gets knocked down to the bottom of the S tier. Still a very valuable card. Fiendish Harpy, 2 cost, very dirt cheap. It flies, does 1 damage, 2 health, 4 speed. It's fast. I'm unimpressed. You can go here with the Dragon Whelp. In fact, you can go behind the Dragon Whelp. You know what? I'll go C tier. I will go C tier just because the cost, it only costs 2. This is like if you have a low number and you have everybody has sneak or snipe or something like that, or the stab ability. I can't go B tier. I'm going bottom of C tier. Even with the 2 cost. Camilla Sungzer, -1. So she is more predicting that they're going to go that attack. She's a 3 cost, which means she should be in the A tier. Yeah, she has to be in the A tier because like they're still fantastic. But you know what? You go to the top of the B tier. You go to the top of the A tier. I can't put you in S. You're not good enough. All right. Mighty Dricken, 1 cost. I'm immediately loving it. 1 damage, 1 health. It flies. Yeah, like this right here. Because there was another 1 cost. Where was that other 1 cost one? Let's put these side to side, and you'll see just why I love that other 1-cost one so much more. Where are you? Where did you go? I thought there was another 1-cost one. Oh, here it is. Yeah. So this guy right here. There we go. There we go. So they both have 1 cost. This one's doing magic damage, which means it's going to hit. You can put it in any position in your lineup. Not to mention, it's automatically hitting the backline, which once again means you can put it anywhere in your lineup and it's going to be doing damage. It's also, this one on the other hand, has to be at the front of the line, or it has to some way get magic or snipe or something like that, which is why I don't like this card. But that being said, it's still a great card because it's a 1 cost, and if you do get those situations where it's like you have 20 to spend and everyone has the sneak ability, this is a fantastic card to pair with like your 14 or something huge that's going to be very costly. So still an A tier card, but not S tier, and just that one I think has way more versatility. All right, the Royal Dragon Archer, 6 cost, 5 health. I'm unimpressed. It does fly, decent speed, does the snipe. That's very good, but 1-1. This feels like one of those cards that I imagine is much better when you level it up. And I bet that other 1-cost card is a little bit like that as well. I'm underwhelmed by this card just for the 6 cost. You know, the 5 health, that's pretty unprotected, especially if they're using magic. You know, that's, yeah, so I'm going to go with the C tier on this one. I'm more impressed than the Fiendish Harpy. Yeah. We'll go there. Yeah. And that. Yes. Wait, yeah, we'll go there. Alright, Chromatic Dragon. 7 costs, 3 damage, 9 health. It flies. It's going to be harder to hit. They go magic, kind of hose, but you still have 9 health, which is good. It feels less legendary than the other legendaries to me. So I think we're immediately S tiers off the table. Put this next to some other legendaries. Nah, which one would you rather have in your deck? I'd rather have this one. 100%. I'd use it way more often. Which one would I rather have in my deck? This one or this one? I'd rather have the Desert Dragon. He's fun. He does 4 damage, and he has shield, and he costs the same amount. Yeah, he's not as fast, he doesn't fly, but he has cool stuff too. So yeah, I think we're going to B tier here. Maybe B tier? Let's see. Let's put him up against 7-8. Which one of you would I rather have? 2 damage, 8, flies, same speed, but I get that big hit the second time. Yeah, I'm going to go C tier here. I'm not a big fan of him. I don't care about your legendary. Naga Assassin. She's solid. She's a 2. She has 1 damage. I mean, she's not great, but she's okay. She's good. It's got a cheap cost. You can pair her with that other 2-cost archer. You really want to just focus on the front line. You're completely hosed if they have that shield ability, which is why she's not any higher than this. But for 2 costs, she's versatile. 4 gets you more speed. Love it, especially with all the flying in this deck, especially when you can combine this with some abilities which will slow them down and speed you up. I think this is low-key a very solid card. Do I think it's an A tier? I think it is an A tier. With how much flying there is, this just makes it so, like, that Void Dragon just becomes even harder to hit. Alright. The Red Dragon does 4 face damage and 1 magic damage, and now we're talking. And this, once again, I just want to remind you, like, which of these cards would you rather have? And this just, I think, spotlights why I'm super unimpressed with this card right here. 9 health, 9 health, they fly. Yeah, you're a little bit slower, but you're doing more damage, and you're doing magic damage for 1 extra mana? Like, I feel like I'm getting some good value here. So I'm going with the A tier here, especially you put some shield on her, get some healing going, maybe some magic reflection. I don't know. Lots of ideas. Yeah. I think bottom A tier looks good. Okay, we got a stupid one. Stupid expensive. You're not going to buy it. You're not going to be able to rent it. It goes up here with King Julien. Most likely. Yeah, this is just a I win card. Like, if you have him and you get a higher number, you have a much higher probability of winning the game. These are the kind of cards that a lot of people don't like in the game because they just feel a little bit cheap. But really, if you get this card, like, it's fantastic. You're going to do a boatload more damage. All right, what do we got next? But still, fantastic S tier. Dragon Spirit. I think I already covered you, didn't I? I could have swore I did. Did I get 2 Dragon Spirits in here? Either way, 3 cost. It's a little mini tank. It just sits there. It's fast. It flies. I feel like this is pretty useful. Pretty versatile. It can really help your backline. And yeah, I put it in the B tier before. I'll put it in the B tier again. Alright, the Kretch Travailer. So once again, I already did you. Vigilator. Here we go. I got some mix-ups there. Alright, 9 cost. Does attack twice. This is where things get really interesting. So you put this towards the middle. It's going to do range damage. It's going to do 1 damage, 1 damage. But once it gets to the front, it serves as a tank because it has 8 health, 2 attack, 4 speed. It's kind of hard to hit. This is a fun card to play with. Especially if you got higher numbers. Especially if you have increased range damage. So now you're now doing 2 damage. Twice. That's going to bust some shields. That's going to kill some people. Especially if you somehow get the snipe ability. I think this is an S tier card. Cost 9, but I love it. And honestly, I put you above the Dejin. Can't put you above Shinlo, though. That's too much versatility. This one's close to me. Alright. What do we got? The Dragon Jumper. First time seeing this ability. This means they go after the person with the lowest health. And yes, they do 3 damage. Which means they are an absolute freaking menace S tier card. I don't have this card. I want this card. I need this card. Especially if you pair it with plus speed, plus damage, 6 health. Put it in the safe middle part of your thing. Not to mention, if they have the same symbol, it's probably not going to be the lowest health card, so they're not going to be focusing on the Dragon Jumper. That Dragon Jumper is going to put in so much work into the middle and back line of them that definitely an S tier card. Could win you the game. Love it. Gold Dragon. 2 magic damage, 8 heart. It flies, has 3 speeds. Kind of hard to hit. It's okay. You know, I think it's a good card. I see it. I see you're a legendary. I see you have some very good versatility. Or if I bump you up your magic damage, you're now doing +3 magic damage, which means that's absolutely going to just shred, you know, blue decks or red decks. But I'm not that super impressed for 7 cost. I see a lot more cards that are 5, 6, 7 that I'm going to have more fun with, I think. You know, it's a useful card, but it's a little bit of a heartless card. So we'll go B tier. 7 cost. Yeah, put you right there. Alright. Lightning Dragon. Alright, 3 damage, 6 speed. Love it. Especially if you combo that with somebody else who gives you speed. Boy, howdy. This is a backline that's going to be really hard to deal with. 6 health, so it's going to be able to take a couple shots. And most likely, you're hopefully going to be missing those shots. And especially if you can pair this with that +1 ranged attack and you're doing 4. Whoo! Whoo! Powerful. Lightning Dragon. S tier. Win you the game. 7 cost. Love it. Alright, what do we got? One more. Byzantine Kitty. Okay. Stupid card. Yep, you're up here in the S tier. You're super expensive. If you're going 99, like, yeah, you want this. It's a no-brainer. Just because +2 speed, they always hit, and people are getting healed. It's I win. It's an I win card. That's why people don't like collectible card games, cards like this. But there you go. That is my comprehensive list of all the Dragon cards at level 1. Let me know what you think about this segment. How could I make it better? Because I do plan on continuing to do all the different segments and then go to level 2 and level 3, presumably, if people are interested. But, as always, if you're enjoying this content, please be sure to click on that subscribe button down below. I'm trying to reach 10,000 subscribers, celebrate my 10-year anniversary of making YouTube content. And thanks for your time, YouTube. Bye-bye!